Welcome to holding my hand.
So you guys are in a bar in Nassau. It's been a dry few weeks. You've been pretty unsuccessful hunting out there. There's been an increased presence of military ships, notably Spanish ones. It's been real difficult for you guys to find any easy targets. The crew has been pretty unruly. They've got a lot of them are getting in fights and stuff in Nassau, and they're beginning to run out of money, which usually keeps them pretty calm. But as you're sitting in this bar, it's getting late, and you and quite a few others have crowded around this man who's been telling a story. And one of the members of your crew, Timmy, he shouts out, "Oh, it's nonsense! Can't be true!" And this old sailor with a milky eye, he turns, he takes a big drag of his pipe, and he says, "'Twas no tall tale, lad. Saw her clear as day as we sailed by that island chain on the shore. An icy mist hung in the air, and the waves swelled. Sunken were her eyes, and she was covered in gold and jewels. The sand glittered with gold with those eyes. Even so, the captain made the right decision. We sailed back from that dread place, and there's no amount of gold that'd get me to go back."
You got quite the cough there. Perhaps you need some stronger drink?
Oh, if you wouldn't mind.
I'll be known to oblige now and again. Barkeep. Some of your finest?
Yes, sir.
Knowing that this place is not all that fine.
He doesn't look as he reaches behind him for one of the many bottles that all contain a vaguely brown liquid, and pours a cupful.
So you're saying she's covered in gold?
That's right, lad. Necklaces and earrings and rings and jewels.
And you and your crew are to I don't know, pussy to go and find this out? Go claim it from her?
Those are strong words. Not the case at all. We saw there was something unnatural there that day. Icy mist here in the tropics that didn't make any sense. There was something unnerving about the place.
That sounds like the excuse of a weak man to me.
You can say what you want, lad, but I won't go back. There was something terrible that hung in the air, a sense of death, a sense of despair.
Now, just how much gold would you say there was?
Not enough. It's not enough. Our captain, he knew that there was something wrong, and so we left.
Temperance is holding her hands out to different sizes, a chest this big, or this big, or maybe this big.
She had more gold on her than I've ever seen on a person.
My kind of girl.
But her eyes, they were dead.
That's much easier to take the gold from if she were dead.
I don't know what she was, lad. Something unnatural.
Can't let that kind of thing get in the way of a good bounty.
I've said it before, and I said I won't go back. I won't go back.
Easy, old timer. No one's asking you to. But you said you saw this along the coast?
It's in a reef, a couple of islands They're not on any map. Not on any map made by man.
How's about we buy you another drink and you put it on our map?
I couldn't live with that. The stain upon my soul.
Suit yourself. We'll find it one way or another.
Have you seen most of the men in this place? They're a stain about much worse, to be honest. You don't have to temper your soul with their fate. They'll go wherever the captain says.
It's too much. I can't. And he like takes a sort of sip from his shaking hand. So I won't do it. I won't do it. And then like from the back of the bar, there's a voice and says, I will.
It seems you have outlived your usefulness, coward.
The old man's eyes kind of like widen as he looks to the back of the room. He just shakes his head.
Can I see who was talking?
Yeah, like the whole kind of bar has turned to look in the direction, and there's like a man in his 30s, handsome, he's got a long red beard. He's like leaning up against the wall. He's got like a dagger in his hand he's cleaning his nails with. I'll take you. If you pay me.
Temper, where's that captain got to?
Just around here somewhere.
You think if we bring her this keen fella, she might be interested in this kind of payload?
Oh, absolutely. If there's one thing Gail's interested in, it's gold.
I was thinking the same.
All right, fella, come over here. We'll buy you a drink, and you can maybe mark something on our map, and we'll see about taking you along with us.
So he like walks across, and still like a lot of the bar is like looking, watching this exchange. And he sits down and puts his feet up on the table, and he says, "I'll have a red wine, thanks."
Temperance gives him a funny look. Wine? But all right.
A fancy lad, are you?
I have expensive tastes.
Well, maybe the captain will like you after all.
Here's hoping.
Here's hoping I'll like what? And Gail like saunters up behind them.
Got an offer to make you.
Oh yeah? What kind of offer?
Well, word around town is that you've fallen on some hard times, and I happen to know of the location of an extremely valuable cache of gold.
Oh, do you now? And why haven't you gone and procured it yourself? What makes us so lucky?
My captain sailed away and won't go back.
You're saying that you were shipmates at whoever discovered this treasure?
I was there.
What treasure?
I saw this woman. She was covered in gold. Head to toe. Ridiculous. Wasn't even armed.
A woman covered in gold. Where is she exactly?
Yes, well, that's what we're coming down to, isn't it? I know this location, and you do not.
Yes, no, but was she standing on an island? What was her location?
She was standing on the beach as we sailed by, watching our ship.
So how did you know it was gold?
I could see it glinting in the sun.
Plenty of things glitter in the sun. but not all things that glitter are gold.
Oh dear.
Shut it, checks.
That may be true, but we're close enough to see. Close enough to see your eyes. Close enough to see the gold.
The old timer over there, and Temperance will nod towards the old guy. He might have been on the same ship. He's been blabbering about it for a good half hour.
That's Thomas. He's a superstitious kind.
Sounds like the rest of your crew is the superstitious kind.
Not me. I'm the pragmatic kind.
You got expensive taste for someone so pragmatic.
I make it my business to get rich. So here's the deal. I will bring you there to the location, and in return, I'll get a 1/6 share. Like the captain.
1/6. That's a bit much for what's basically a glorified tour guide.
Well, I could not bring you, and then there's no gold.
Well, there's no gold for you either. You said no one else will go.
You're the first crew I've talked to. I'm sure there's plenty who'd be willing. Although there are probably few as desperate.
Oh, that is mighty bold of you to insult the captain.
It's no insult to say you have no money when you don't have any money.
Temperance would lean over to Gale and just whisper in her ear, I bet we could beat the location out of him.
Yeah, well, there's, she'll like lean over and whisper, there's nothing saying that he's got to make it back with his share either.
Temperance just kind of nods and smiles.
And so what is your name? Don't normally set accords with people who haven't even properly introduced themselves.
Hugh.
Hugh what?
O'Donnell. Some call me Red Hugh, if you prefer.
Does he have red hair?
He does.
Ah.
And you, Captain, and he does a courtly bow.
I'm Gale Dryden. This is Temperance. And that sour-looking fellow is Mr. Worley.
Isn't it bad luck to have a woman on a ship? Never mind two.
It'd be worse luck to not have us.
As I said, I'm a pragmatist, but nonetheless, I would imagine that the sailors under your command are probably quite nervous.
That's where I come in. Ain't no sailor nervous under my command. Unless it's by my say-so.
Very impressive.
Well, whenever you got two ladies in charge of a ship, you gotta wonder what kind of ladies are the type that can manage it.
Here's a tip. The good ones.
No, I wouldn't. Good?
Good
Good's
at
a bad
it.
word.
Uh,
Yes, good at it.
Fine.
Good. In general?
This
He
is why
raises
she's
an eyebrow.
captain. I let her do the talking. I'm better at hitting things, you could say.
He raises an eyebrow at you, kind of back and forth, and looks towards Blackheart with a really?
to him all you like, but he knows better than to talk back when the captain's around.
He cleared his throat. He says, "Do you want the gold or not?"
I suppose you could take us. It's not like we've got much else going on.
All right, and a 1/6 share.
1/3.
Fuck off.
Oh no, that's just not polite.
Neither is offering me that kind of share.
Well, you're basically just a guide. I mean, I have, maps. I can find an island on a reef. Oh, it sure is. Shit. Oh well.
Reef isn't on a map. It is a secret place that we have used in our crew for many a year for, well, when we need to hide away, when we need to lose someone. It's a dangerous place. There's a lot of reefs and things like that. If you don't know it, it could be hell for your ship.
And you're not going to get any kind of trouble for giving away your captain's secrets.
Well, he doesn't want to go. I asked him.
Well, there's a difference between not wanting to go and being all right with you telling another pirate captain his secret hideaways.
Well, when we come back and I have 1/6 of all of that gold, I'll be the captain of my own ship.
Fair enough.
I'll stand up from a table, sort of off to one side, drinking alone, and I'll just step up, kind of next to the captain, quietly. You can smell the alcohol in my breath. I've drank a lot, and I just say, "Captain, I'd like to express my distrust of this man. He says so many words, but doesn't say much." And then just sort of step back and try and get another drink somewhere.
And she'll just kind of nod at Peyton. She's been having similar thoughts herself.
Well, here's what I would suggest. If we're going to go, then I would become a member of your crew for the duration of this venture, with the usual insurance and protection and things like that, as well as me accepting any code you may have aboard your ship. For the duration of this journey. When we get back here, we will separate the gold and we'll be on our way. Both of us much richer for having done so.
Sounds fair.
You seem to have a few issues taking orders from women. Is that going to be a problem when we're out in the water?
The captain's word is law when there's battle. I understand that.
I'm first mate.
As I said, the captain's word is law when there's battle.
Yes. I broker no disrespect aboard my ship now. Off ship. You can have as many disagreements with me as you like.
If he ain't gonna listen to a woman, then he can listen to one of my pistols. That's the kind of law that we run on our ship.
Ooh, aren't you a scary one?
You have no fucking idea, mate.
He clicks his fingers and he calls Benjamin. And this besotted gentleman, with quite fancy clothes and one of those powdered wigs, kind of gets up from his table and walks over. Yes, I need a contract drawn up, quick. And so he sits down at the table and he pulls a bunch of papers and stuff and begins drafting up a little contract for this deal.
You take yourself awfully serious for a guy in a bar like this.
We may be criminals in the eyes of some laws, but I do believe that the law is important, and that contracts matter, and that agreements are binding.
Gail just takes a long draw from her drink, just kind of eyebrow twitching, thoroughly entertained by the idea of a pirate signing a contract.
So this guy like writes out the terms of the contract, which would be that he would bring you to the reef and help you navigate through the reef itself, bring you to the island, and serve on your crew for the duration of the venture. Upon returning to a port, be it Nassau or somewhere else, he would receive 1/6, like a captain's share basically, of the loot, and the rest would go to you and your crew. And that would be the termination of his tenure with your crew.
If we're going to do this all nice and official like, I would like a little clause in there that if there's any sort of malcontent or malfeasance upon you or your Benjamin, that your share is null and void.
What do you mean? As if...
I mean, if you fuck with me, you get nothing.
Well, I mean, if I fuck with you, I probably won't make it back here alive, since I'm going on my own. But sure, I'll put it in the contract. So this guy like finishes off the contract with like his flowery script or whatever, and like puts down some places for you and him to sign. He takes the pen and he like signs a pretty flowery signature. He like hands it to you and he says, "You can just make your mark."
She signs her name.
While they're signing, Temperance leans over and whispers to Worley, "Just because she's signing him safe passage back to a port doesn't mean I'm signing it."
Way ahead of you.
So you spend the rest of an uneasy night, I guess, here. When do you want to leave, Captain?
With the tide.
So in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah, so you and your crew, I guess you send out the word to get them ready and whatnot. And to stop drinking now.
Yep. Got work in the morning, boys.
So then the next morning, on your, what's your ship called?
Siren's Call.
Nice. So aboard the Siren's Call, the crew, yourselves, and this Hugh character, and you set off. He basically gives you coordinates to like a known location, and he says from there he'll have to lead you by memory.
Yeah, just give me a journal heading at least.
Yeah, he does so. And you sail. It's fine. It's calm. It's a great place for sailing, this part of the world. And the crew is in pretty decent form. They're like happy to be out again. There's rumors going around of like a great treasure, and so there's like a real enthusiasm in the crew. They're singing and whatnot as they go about their work. It takes you about a day and a half to get to the point where he begins to give you more deliberate directions, which you're able to follow. And about another day it takes for you to like finally come upon this You can see it in the distance actually before you come too close to it that there is like a squall, like a storm kind of, but small and localized above this island chain.
Is it always like this, Mr. O'Donnell?
Not always, but recently.
You seem to know an awful lot about it, Hugh, for someone who's only been here once.
I've been here many times, as has our crew. But the last time we came here, with the intent of hiding, there was this mist and this woman, and the captain wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. The storm is new, though.
I take it that's the way we need to go.
That's the place.
All right, and then like, are we getting ready to sail into it?
Yep.
Okay, then batten down the hatches and all that other good stuff. Take down the sails so that shit doesn't get damaged. Sail through.
Yep. So he basically goes and he stands at the front. I don't know what that is called, the bow of the ship, and he's like looking over the front, and he's like basically calling out directions and stuff so that you don't hit the many reefs around here. So he's like calling it, and then somebody else shouts it, and then somebody else shouts it, and it goes all the way back to the helm where the directions are put in. It's slow going and dangerous, and there's a lot of creaking, and occasionally there's like a bump as you hit like a little bit of a reef, but nothing bad enough to like smash the ship or damage it too badly. And it goes on for maybe 20 minutes of this, kind of going through these reefs until the water kind of clears again. And you're into this island chain itself. The islands are very close together, but the water is very deep between them. And you can see that there's like thick jungle on these islands. And as you like sail or navigate this little area, you kind of see the biggest island. That's the one he points to. He says, there it is, up ahead. Basically looks like a volcano or something, with the jungle growing over the top. And as you like come around the side of one of the islands against side of it, like a flock of birds flies up from that island, and just for a second they take the shape of a skull as you approach the island ahead. So the crew calls a halt, basically, and you have to get into the boats to make your way to the shore.
All right, boys, lower the boats. You know what the captain wants.
Aye, aye. So who's going? Are you bringing everyone, Captain? Or what's the situation?
Well, what's the crew accompaniment or whatever on this ship?
Yeah, I guess you probably have about 90 crew members. Would be my guess, about 90. And I mean, you need a certain amount of those. Probably just about half of them to like be on the ship in case something happens, so they can move it or whatever. So you could take a bunch of people with you if you wanted to.
Well, how many longboats do we have?
Two.
That can hold
15 people, maybe.
Okay. Then yeah, just load up a bunch of randos in one, and then us, and I believe my 2 retainers, and I believe Mr. Worley has a powder monkey. The rest of us can load up in another with some crewmen to row us.
Okay. What about Hugh?
Well, I assume he's coming.
I got you here. That's what I was contracted to do.
You're not going to help us retrieve it.
Well, if you look at the contract, you'll find nowhere does it suggest that I would have to do that.
Indeed. There's also nothing in the contract that would suggest that I would leave my ship and some of my crew behind. You said that you wanted to be captain with your share. I'm not about to give you a free ship. You'll be coming with us.
Do you think it's likely that I would overpower these 45 men?
I think you've got fine taste and a cutting mind, and I'm not leaving you behind in my ship. You're coming with or you don't get your share.
He like sucks his teeth and spits. Expected as much.
Because you're a smart man.
Yeah, he doesn't give out anymore, and he gets onto the longboat with you. And you're able to sail ashore. So immediately, like there is this mist kind of hanging over the place, which is odd. It's very rare to see fog or mist around this part of the world. And you can make your way up onto the beach itself, and you'll see immediately, like on the beach, that there's like glints of metal along it. And if you like reach down, there are silver coins here, just like strewn along the beach, all over the place. Hugh like reaches down and grabs one and bites it.
You're telling me your captain would leave an island covered in currency just because of some half-naked watery tart covered in gold? Was your entire crew just made of cowards, or?
No, don't forget. She gave him the stink eye.
My crew obeys orders, Mr. Worley. And my captain believed that there was some sort of curse hanging about the place. And so he didn't much fancy coming aboard or setting land on this place.
Curse mumbo jumbo. Ugh.
Well, I agree. That's why I'm here.
As you say that, I sort of turn around and just look you dead in the eye. Do not joke about such things. When you have lived the life I have, you will see that these are not just random occurrences. There's no such thing as luck. This is not something you joke about.
When I have lived a life as pitiful as yours without women or wealth, I'll probably end myself long before a curse gets me.
And I'll sort of give a sheepish look and turn back round, muttering sort of strange words under my breath.
Hugh laughs loudly at this.
Oh, Worley, you know better than to antagonize him.
He will stand in line, just like the others. They all fear the gun, regardless of their superstition.
The bastard's half mad and covered in tattoos. Don't poke him. Just let him be.
You don't pay me to be soft.
No, but I don't pay you to piss him off either.
Right, well, there won't be much pay of anything if we don't get this treasure acquired, so let's get hopping.
Could I get you guys to do a search roll? Which involves, if you have the search skill, you'll have different amounts of pips on your character sheet, but basically it's a 1 in 6 chance if you're not trained in search.
Ooh, I have a 2 and I rolled a 2.
Okay, perfect. So as you're like looking through the sand and like sifting through these coins or whatever, You like part some of the sand, you find a gold coin, and pulling it out, it's like an inch thick. It's golden coin, huge. It's got these like archaic designs, an eye on one side and a mouth on the other. But you think like crazy, crazy valuable.
Well, it's gold, so yeah. Yeah, Gail will pick it up and flip it to Mr. O'Donnell. Be like, there, the first part of your share. May we continue to have good fortune.
He like catches it in the air and has a look. Well, thank you.
You said women were bad luck.
I said that people think that.
Your attitude said otherwise.
He just like smiles and tips his hat. So the beach leads up into a jungle, but there are like pretty obvious footprints like leading in a certain direction. There's also like coins leading in that direction as well. Loads of the crew members are like on their knees in the sand, just like digging for coins and stuff and like putting them in their pockets and just like grabbing as much as they can.
It's like, now, gentlemen, you know that we have to all divvy it up and share it out evenly.
Don't want to leave anything behind, Captain.
All right, good men.
Are the footprints like barefoot or boots?
They are barefoot.
Hey, Hugh. Looks like your half-naked woman went along this way.
So it does. That's probably the way we should go, eh?
Hi. And Gail will order a couple of the randos to, like, maybe like about 5 of the randos that we brought to keep an eye on the longboats and gather up as much of the gold as they can as the rest of us continue on.
Aye, Captain. And so you do continue on into this jungle. It's quite chilly on this island, despite the location. There's like a cold wind, even in the trees. And it's tough going through this jungle. It's like thick and overgrown. You have to do quite a bit of chopping with your cutlasses and the like to make your way through, following these footsteps. You walk for maybe 15 minutes until you start to hear like a crunching under your feet. And looking down, you'll see that it's bones, lots of bones, like mixed in with the leaf litter and stuff like that. Just a carpet of bones. And looking up, you'll see that the trees around here, they all have ropes hanging from them, noosed, although no bodies hanging there.
Mr. Donnell, were there any types of stories about these islands you and your captain heard before the Golden Lady?
Well, they say that Spaniards came here early on when they were settling. Maybe they found something. Clearly they did if there's this much money here.
Don't look much like Spanish doubloons to me.
Well,
Thinking back to the gold that we found.
no, that's true. He takes out the coin and he kind of looks at it. This doesn't look like anything I've seen before. This isn't, I mean, look, it's like an inch thick. What's going on here? He's like holding it out in front of him, and a bunch of the men like look greedily, like almost like when you wave food in front of a dog and the head just kind of turns with each movement as he like moves the coin around and puts it back into his pocket.
We all know Spaniards to be weak men. Would rather hang themselves from trees than see a fortune in their pockets. We are not Spaniards. We shall persevere.
Couldn't agree more.
He kind of waves a pistol lazily as he makes that proclamation towards the men.
So he was like crunching noisily over the bones, and he walks up to one of these ropes and just like tugs on it, but it doesn't come loose. I wonder how long these are here.
Are they human bones or animal bones?
They are human bones.
Well, we're not the first to the island, at least. Though it does make you wonder, Captain, why these poor souls didn't get out.
They were Spaniards. Do you need any more reason than that? Not true men.
I'll reach down and find kind of a smallish bone that would fit in one's pocket. Maybe, from a part of the wrist or hand or something. And just pocket it in, as surreptitiously as possible.
Yeah, you can find a couple of knuckle bones and like grab those and put them in your pocket. O'Donnell says to you, Worley, did you fight in the war? Is that why you hate the Spaniards so much?
You spend long enough in my presence, you'll find out that I hate pretty much everything. War or no war. I don't particularly like you, and we've only just met.
Oh, but you're so personable. I don't understand.
Temperance actually laughs at that.
We didn't hire Mr. Worley for his conversation skills.
Or his charm.
Mm-mm.
He gives a look back at both of the girls and then looks back to him. No, they hired me for my skill with a pistol. I'm rather adequate at talking through it.
Ooh. He like does the spooky hands and then he like turns and walks away.
You know, Worley, I think I'm starting to like that fellow.
I wouldn't get attached. He isn't lasting after this.
Well, I didn't say I was getting attached.
Now, it's not nice to play with your food.
Pity, he's a little cute.
Now I'm
But-
really gonna shoot him.
But where's all this gold he's been talking about? Where's that woman?
Well, Temperance, I fancy the gold that's been littering all over the beach is, fallen like, what is it, that, that Shakespeare fellow would say, fallen like rain off of his golden lady.
Yeah, that one. You know you read more than I do, Gail. Temperance is gonna follow Hugh and keep an eye out for any more shiny trails.
Yeah, as you continue kind of crunching over the bones and stuff, you start to notice that the trees, as you continue, are petrified. Like they're not wood, they're stone. And Hugh like runs his hand over the bark of one of them. And he like rubs his fingers together and like looks back and just kind of like shrugs and continues going.
You know, Gail, I'm not the most superstitious, but even the trees are dead. Kind of giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, Temperance, there is a volcano here after all. Trees here wouldn't last very long.
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry, Gail, you know me. Just spook a little easy sometimes.
Is that right?
So you continue along this path, and eventually it opens up into a little clearing, and there's a building there, maybe the size of like a normal house. It's red stone, red kind of bricks, but like huge flagstone sort of bricks. It's like heavily overgrown with like vines and moss and stuff like that. There's no door, but more of an archway leading in. There's also a really strong smell, kind of like a metallic smell in the air.
Metallic like blood or metallic like metal shavings? Someone's been filing something.
What do you think?
I just had to ask.
Just in case. Yeah, it smells really strongly, like stinks of blood. Although there's no outward sign of that. Hugh takes out a handkerchief from a pocket and holds it up to his nose.
Are there any kind of windows or anything in the building?
No, it's actually strange. It's like this big sort of monolithic structure. It's just like almost a square, but the brick, like the blocks, are huge, and it's like mostly covered with moss and stuff. There's no windows or anything like that.
Is there a way to get in?
Yeah, there's an archway, slightly overgrown with plants and stuff, but you could cut your way in.
Yeah, I'd begin cutting my way in, I think. Intrigued by the smell.
So you can see, like, as you approach a little bit closer, that there are like carvings and engravings on the stone underneath these plants, although it's kind of hard to see what's going on with all the plants in the way.
Is there any chance I'd recognize them? I doubt it.
The plants?
You said there were marks?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to see what's going on with all the plants covering them, but like it looks ancient. Like, I don't know where you've been in the world, but if you've been to Mexico, down that way, it looks like those kind of old temples.
Right.
But the plants are like thorned and spiked and stuff. You couldn't like really brush them aside with your hand. You'd have to be quite careful.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I'd just take out a knife and sort of trying to cut as much of it away as possible.
Yeah, so you kind of move up and start chopping into these vines and stuff, and as you do, like, there's no sap comes out, but it's like blood runs from the vines and like drips onto the ground, and the stench like of the blood is like so strong when you cut them open. But as you cut as well, one of the vines like snaps towards you. You need to make a save against poison, please. Do you hear me, Rob?
Hangouts just kicked me out. I'm wondering if it's just going down the line and kicking everyone out one by one.
Kick me out as well.
I got kicked as well.
Okay, so Rob just got kicked, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's just left.
Right.
Hey,
All right.
Duck.
No, I won't do a save. You can't make me.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I could hear you guys. It just wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah. So I need to roll under.
Yes.
Okay. That's a fail by 1. Damn it.
Okay, yeah. So this this vine like whips out. It's kind of like a thorny vine and like slaps into your hand as you're like cutting, and you feel this like stinging sensation in your hand, and almost immediately like it kind of goes numb and it begins to swell. It swells up really quickly and like fills with blood. It's quite painful. You're going to have a -1 for like fine manipulation with that hand.
Okay.
I appreciate the initiative, Peyton, but are you okay there?
He just sort of gives like a dark look, and just doesn't say anything.
By all means, carry on with your duty.
Don't worry, lad. If you lose your hand, I've got a spare, and I'll hold up my hooked hand with the 3 prongs and just clap it together.
I always liked you.
So after that, you're kind of able to cut away the rest. You're more careful now, and you kind of like are doing it from more of a distance. A few more times, like you see the vines kind of like snap in your direction, but you're like ready for it this time, and it doesn't strike you again. You're able to cut away enough that you'd be able to walk through the archway. You can see that it leads down immediately, like a pretty steep staircase. The stairs are like very small, and they're like slick, sort of like it's very humid in here, and yeah, leads down into darkness.
I'm happy to head on ahead. Peyton sort of gets very intrigued by the sort of darker sort of sections of society and history and that kind of thing.
So you can make your way down these stairs. They go down for quite some time. You'll need to light a torch, I think, if you wanted to see. Otherwise, you're going blind. It gets dark real quick. But as you get to... Sorry, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I'll light the lantern and kind of follow along with at the front.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So with the lantern lit, you're able to like move down these stairs. You go down quite far. You think like easily 100 feet. They're almost vertical, these stairs, until you enter into this room. You can hear like the lapping of water. Like holding the lantern up, you can see that this room has a stone floor, although it's collapsed on the right-hand side. There's an archway there leading into more darkness, with like water there, basically. At the back of the room, there's like this large sort of plinth, like quite long, almost like a table, but it's made of stone and it's got engravings and stuff on it. And there's like parchment stuck all over this this plinth. There's also like coins just strewed about the place. Gold coins, silver coins, goblets, all sorts of like wealth here. And of course, bones.
Can I go look at some of the papers?
Yes.
Parchments?
Sure. So it is dark. So you'll need to bring a torch right up to them. Can you speak Spanish?
I don't know. Can I?
Do you have any languages?
I think.
I actually
In
looked at the
limitation, don't
rules.
you roll? You have to
Yeah.
you roll and see if you have it.
Okay.
At the time you're asked if you have it.
Then roll.
Okay. That's a 2, and my language is 1 plus my intelligence modifier, which is 0. So no, I don't know Spanish.
Yeah, so you look at it, you can tell it's Spanish. It's like quite flowery as well. But yeah, you can't tell what it says.
Does anyone speak Spanish?
That's gonna make us all roll a d6.
Yep. Then it's on your character sheet for if I've ever.
No.
No.
I mean, it's quite obvious it's a no for me as well.
Yeah, there's no way.
It'd be worse. I could speak Spanish, but I can't read it.
So nobody speaks Spanish?
No.
Does Hugh
Mr.
have
O'Donnell,
a
do you?
speech?
Same time. Great minds. Does Hugh speak Spanish?
I'll roll a dice.
I could roll and see if my retainers speak.
He does.
He
Um,
does?
He does. Yep. The specialist, and he rolled a 2. So he like kneels down, he like looks, and he's like reading through, and he's like shaking his head. He says it's a bunch of gibberish. Prayers, asking for forgiveness. Oh, here, they mention a bride. And he's like moving along the plinth, kind of like picking bits and pieces, and there's a lot of like references like to Mary and Almighty God and protect us and save us. But he says it's quite archaic, like he can't make all of it out. It's not the kind of Spanish that people speak.
Weak-willed Spanish, regardless of the age, they're all superstitious.
I would say that they're religious, says Hugh.
Isn't that the same thing?
And Hugh says, it's 1720, everyone's religious.
She kind of rolls her eyes a bit and says, sure.
No. I think my mother was religious. She named me Temperance after all.
Yeah, but the way they do religion is different to the way we do it. Much more God-fearing and...
A lot more shame and guilt.
Yeah, you could say that. I wouldn't listen to anything they say. I'll write down.
So as he's like moving whatever, he like scoops up another golden coin. This one isn't as big or anything, but it's still a golden coin. And there's a couple of them strewn around the place with like a bunch of silver.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a bunch of these coins and say, no matter how they practice their religion, it might be different from ours. They mint and spend gold the same way.
Are there any markings on the coins of any kind?
Yes. So the golden coins are printed with I wonder, would you know?
Do you want me to roll something?
Yeah. Is there a history? A knowledge?
Intelligence check. If he rolls
Yeah.
under his intelligence, he would know it, I think.
That's what I'll do.
All right, 50-50. Oh, damn. Yeah. I rolled a 2.
Okay. Yeah. So you did spend time in Mexico. At some time in your life, you might have been stranded there for some time, and you wandered through the jungles, and you saw these stepped pyramids and ziggurats, and you can see that there's a similarity to like the design, the art. It's like a face, basically, with like a feathered sort of headdress.
Kind of, okay, so thinking like old Aztec gold type.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll step up to the captain and just say, I saw these in Mexico. Old religions. Very superstitious and bloodthirsty people. Human sacrifices and that type of thing. Just
Gold is gold.
They spend the same, Mr. Spencer?
And he'll kind of nod, but sort of, you know, when you sort of see people nod and kind of close their eyes, like you're missing the point. And he'll just, so he'll just sort of nod and say, yes, but I know you may not be the superstitious type, but there is more to this than just stories.
Is there anything that you can do to allay your fears about this coin, Mr. Spencer?
I don't think so, ma'am. I'll just follow as always.
Damn, Corinne.
Yes.
I am
Nice.
leaving it unmuted because it's perfect every single time.
I finished talking.
Yeah, that's great.
Someone upstairs isn't happy with
like
what I
there's-
just said.
There's like no inspiration in Lamentations of the Flame Princess, but this is awesome.
Yeah, so like Hugh makes his way around doing, he's picking up coins and stuff, but he kind of is looking around, and you guys can see that there's like a way out of here. But as I say, like that section of the floor has collapsed, and like there's water there, lapping away into darkness through an archway.
That's where like the footprints and the coin trail is leading into that water.
Yes.
Mm.
Can I pick something up and toss it into the water and see if it makes a like shallow plunk sound or a deep plunk sound?
Sure. It makes a plunk sound. I think it's probably hard to gauge how deep the water is by the noise it makes, but you could like try and watch it go down or something like that. You lose sight of it. So it's definitely deeper than walking.
Well, there's one way to find out how deep this is.
You volunteering, Stub?
I'll go. Just tie this rope around me. I'm sure I trust you to hold on to the other end. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Worley, give me a hand.
Wally gives you a very wide grin and slowly takes the rope.
Not him. I'll hand a lantern off to someone as well.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Keep this where I can see it, so I can orientate myself when I come back.
I'll give the other end of the rope to Ty or Bill to hold with me.
Sure.
Yeah, Bill would respond with a meh.
I would nudge our companion, Hugh, and go, you see, the men respond with almost eager enthusiasm for the most dangerous of tasks.
Truly inspiring discipline.
You bet you're fucking right they are truly inspired by. And then he like pulls out the pistol. My discipline.
He like looks at at Bill and Ty and their kind of faces of like, ugh. And he nods.
Temperance gives him a wink.
So,
Hold on. Dougal, do you have any guns we need to hold for you before you go diving in?
Yeah. I'll put everything in my pack. Leave it here. I'll even take the gold coins I've picked up along this trail. Put them in the bag. I've counted them.
Don't worry, Stub. We won't steal from you. Yep. Oh, I'm just messing with you. Go on, go on.
Doing the money and feed the crew and get the rum. And now I've got to go in a dark puddle.
But think of the rum you'll buy.
You're a good man. Stubbs.
I'll go through some exaggerating flexion motions and then take the plunge.
Water is fucking ice cold. Ridiculously cold as you like splash in, dive in, I would say expertly, with a long life worth of swimming. And you begin to swim in the darkness through this archway. It continues on for quite a bit. How much feet of rope do you have?
It's 50 foot of a rope, I believe.
Okay.
Standard.
So by the time that the rope goes taut, you haven't entered a new room yet. You're in some sort of hallway. And you're still swimming, like you can't feel the bottom. And it is pitch black.
If I kind of head towards the top, is there any kind of air pockets up at the ceiling?
Oh yeah, no, it's not all the way to the ceiling. Like you're able to breathe.
Right.
So there's maybe like 3 feet between you and the ceiling. You could like reach up and touch. Yeah, so you can get up and breathe and stuff like that. But yeah, it does continue on ahead of you.
Hey, Stub, you're out of rope.
I've got some extra rope. We can give him some more slack.
Alright, I'll tie it off.
So you tie off the rope and you continue swimming, Dougal. And another 30 or so feet go by, and you enter into like an open room. There's like you can see it's like a cavern now. It's no longer like constructed, at least the ceiling. And there's like a crack where some sunlight comes in and shines into the room. So on your left, as you like enter this room, there's like a sand bank. You can see that there are steps under there of stone, but they're covered in sand now. And there's a skeleton on that bit of sand there. It's like wearing rusted, like a plate, breastplate, and one of those conquistador helmets. And it's like clutching a cross in its skeletal hands. And the sun is shining, though, from the other side, shining onto across the water on the other side. There's like a little platform on top of which is a chest, metallic and like looks brand new, sparkles in the sunlight. It's like inlaid with rubies and gems and things like that. Yeah, that's what you see.
Okay. Is there anywhere I could possibly tie the rope around myself onto so that I'm free of the rope? Any kind of
if you like
metal rings in the wall or something?
Sure. Yeah, on the left.
Yeah, I'll tie it onto that, and then screw it. I'm going to swim towards the chest.
Okay. So you swim across to this big chest. As I say, it's like metallic, kind of silvery. You think high quality anyway. And it's got all the banding or whatever. They're all like inlaid with rubies, sapphires, emeralds, like incredibly valuable jewels all over it. There is a jewel at the front where the lock would be, but there is no lock, it seems. It's this ruby, heart-shaped, and it's cracked down the center.
Well, cracked ruby's no good. But I will grab some of the rubies and emeralds from this chest, kind of give them a kiss and put them into an inside pocket.
Yeah. So it's like prying them loose with like a knife or whatever, like moving it underneath and trying to pull them out. You're able to do so, but you realize that there's like it's open. Like this chest is open. There's nothing holding it closed. It like wobbles a little bit as you like mess with the lid.
I mean, of course I'm going to do it.
So you grab the sides of the chest and you like open it up.
Oh,
Very strange. Inside there is a white wedding dress and a veil. There's a golden wedding band and a human heart. And all of these things are like pristine, totally like you don't know how long they've been here, but they all look as if they've just been placed in the chest.
so like a fresh human hat, not preserved or
Yeah.
jerkified.
Yeah, totally fresh.
I will grab the wedding ring. That's a good question. Is the heart beating, or is it just?
It is.
Yes, it is. In that case, I won't grab the wedding ring. I'll quickly close the bloody chest.
That changes things.
And yeah, that changes things. I will jump back into the water, swim to the rope, and I'm going to leave it tied and kind of pull myself back.
As you're like swimming to the rope, you can feel a displacement of water behind you, and your foot like brushes against something.
Pull faster.
Okay.
I'm not even looking behind me.
No, I wouldn't. Okay, so have you got swim as a skill?
It's not one of the. Is it one of the base? No, it's not one of the base skills. No, I wouldn't.
Okay, let's just do a strength.
That's a success.
Okay, so you're like pulling on this rope as quickly as you can, and you guys can feel like this like sudden and terrible tug on the end of the rope. Like Bill, who's always quiet, even goes, "Jesus!"
Oh hell!
Pulling back, boys.
I'm pulling and nothing's happening.
There's something in the water.
Fucking hangouts.
Yeah, or ordering the boys to pull back Mr. Duffy.
We can't pull like we're pulling hard and nothing's happening.
Well, don't let go.
I'm not letting go. It's not coming. There's no slack.
You can just hear his voice from somewhere deep within. Fuck.
So you're tugging on the rope, and he's like pulling it, trying to move closer as quickly as possible. What's your armor class there, Doogie?
It'd be a 14.
Okay, so you can feel like this displacement of water right behind you, like where your foot is, but like nothing connects as you like continue pulling yourself, and you're now in the room with the rest of them. Like they can see your head above the water as you're like pulling yourself, and as he pulls himself like out of the water, you can see behind him there's a fin in the water.
Oh shit.
A fin?
A fin.
Like a shark fin?
Yes.
Hmm. Is this salt water?
It is.
Oh.
So like you're pulling yourself out of the water, and as you like shine the light over whatever, you just see like beneath the waves this like strange sharkish shape. But you also see like human elements to that shape. Like you see a webbed hand come out of the water and like smash down as it legs it back into the darkness.
As it drags him back?
Itself. He made it to shore.
Fucking hell, Stubbs, what was that?
I don't know. I didn't stop to look.
Gail will kind of like come over and like pat him on the back and be like, there, old man. You're all right. We got you.
One of those emeralds kind of falls out.
Oh, look at that. You found me something. You're the best, Duffy. You're the best.
It's just not my day.
Wally errantly scratches himself with the side of a pistol, just shaking his head at how much this pleb of a crewman is being fussed over.
That's her quartermaster. It's no
There's
pleb.
plenty of crewmen. You get fed, boyo.
Yeah. You
He
gotta
didn't
treat the
say anything.
quartermaster.
That was all description. So
Well, then,
So what do you guys want to do?
Once I get my breath back a bit, probably lying on my back, staring up at the ceiling, I'll recount what I saw in that room: the conquistador, the chest with the wedding dress, the wedding band, and a still beating heart. It had a lock on the outside of a broken heart, but I can't help but think it's tied together. It's magic, curses.
Sounds like we found the Spaniard's bride.
Gail, maybe we should just take what we've got and go. A beaten heart?
It ain't right, Captain.
Yeah, no, that ain't right. And she'll kind of like look around the rest of the crewmen and kind of see how they seem to be.
Wally's scratching his chin with his pistol.
I wonder if Lloyd's maybe dropped.
I'm here,
Oh.
but I'm not a crewman.
Well, there are like 10 or 15.
Oh, I thought you meant the people here. Yeah, I mean, most of them are shitting themselves. Like they're just terrified. Loads of them are like blessing themselves, or on their knees praying with like rosary beads in hand, or all sorts of stuff. There's mutters of like a beating heart. You have to get out of here. It's not right. It's not natural.
I think it may have kicked Corinne.
I just got kicked as well, so I think it might.
Like a bunch of them are kind of saying relatively loudly that they would like to go, and that they're not keen to stay here. It's obviously a dangerous place. Nothing good can come of this.
Corinne's messaged me she has lost power, I think, due to the storm.
Oh shit!
She might be back in a bit, or briefly. So, Temper, what do you think?
Well, I say we take what we've got and go. Maybe the boys on the beach have got a decent mount from the shore, and there's quite a lot of silver over there.
Well, if that's your command. Willing to follow it.
Unless you're wanting to volunteer to go back in the water with whatever that was.
I'm not going anywhere fucking near. That's not why I keep these guys around. And he like motions lazily with his pistol to the rest of the crew. If we pull back, we pull back.
Yeah, Temperance looks at the, quivering, shaking crew members. All right, let's go.
He like swings his pistol lazily in a motion in the air and then kind of points towards the exit. All out, boys. We've got what we came for.
Hey,
They look incredibly relieved. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Yeah. We'll carry as much as we can.
damn right you will.
Hugh, is this all you brought us here for? Sunken temples, fish-infested waters.
I know that there's more gold in there. I know that there's more wealth here. I mean, these coins are fine, but there's more. But do I want to get in the water? No fucking way.
I may have an idea. I heard someone shout out shark as I race towards the shore. I'll take my knife out and I'll cut my hand and kind of squeeze it into the water, kind of wade into about knee height and start to squeeze it into the water.
Duffy, what the hell are you doing?
Sharks like blood.
You're gonna get yourself killed.
I'm going to get the shark killed as soon as it comes. For the sweet smell of that blood, you shoot it.
The whole place smells like blood.
Do you want this treasure?
Fine, go ahead, go ahead. If you die, it's your own fault. And I get your share.
A couple of
If I survive, I get your share.
Fine.
couple of minutes go by as you're kind of standing there, dripping blood into the water. And then, like, from very suddenly from the darkness, like, there's that fin, but it's moving incredibly quickly. Just like, if you guys are ready with pistols, you could definitely try and take a shot.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot it. It's a roll under mechanic, right? Or
No, to hit is basically you want to roll to hit. You just got to see if it misfires first.
oh, that's a 1 in 10 chance, right?
Yes, just let me double check. I think so. 2 in 10.
So do I want a high number or a lower number for the misfire?
You want to roll above a 2 on a d10.
Well, shit. I misfired.
Man, Hangouts is really just not being our friend today. Like, people are just getting kicked in and out all the time.
I just came in.
I've been kicked 3 times in the last 5 minutes.
I would like to say I'm on Internet Explorer and I have not yet been kicked this whole call.
Who hiss?
Jesus.
Taylor, you know you're using flintlock weapons, so you only roll. It's only a 1 that's a misfire.
Yep, that's my mistake. It should be a 1 in 10. Sorry.
Oh, good. I don't misfire. I rolled a 2.
So then instead it's as it fires towards the shark. Now you need to roll hit.
10.
Okay. Worley.
Sorry, what? Do you want me to fire as well?
Yeah, so I don't know how much you've got, but basically Dougal had like gone into the water to lure the shark and it's now coming. So I had assumed that like people were ready with pistols and stuff ready to fire, you know?
Sure. That's a 13 to hit it, and the -5 armor penetration from gunpowder weaponry at short range, I presume.
Yes. And you did misfire, right?
No, I did not at all.
Okay. What about yourself, Peyton? Did you fire a shot?
I'll be firing. I did not prepare a D10, however. Okay. Yep, fine. To hit, 17.
Okay. So this like volley of shots, and a bunch of the crew members as well, like fire, and the whole room is just like filled with like blinding light and smoke and just like thunderous shots. I'll need your damage as well, guys. And this thing is going to try and eat checks.
Did you say that my 10 would hit or no?
Oh, sorry, no.
Okay.
The damage is a D8, is it?
Even with the armor -5 armor penetration from short range?
Then yes.
Because that's the advantage of gunpowder weaponry.
I'm glad that you know how to play this game, Dan, because I don't.
I've never played this before, but I spent all last night reading rules,
You
which both
absolute
Taylor and
legend.
Colin can attest to.
Thank you.
There is a whole bunch of floating modifier rules I could confuse your game with, but I'm just going to leave it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
2 from me.
Okay.
So
4 damage for me.
All right.
I got a 7 on the D8. I think your
Nice.
dex modifier adds to your damage. I can't remember.
I think it's actually just strength that does that in this one.
Oh yeah, just strength in combat. Yeah, sure. So that's a 7 on the D8.
Okay.
If it's strength, then mine's a 1.
No, so it's strength for melee attacks, but you don't add dex to your.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Damage,
of course, of
yeah.
course, of course.
Yeah. Right, yeah, so this big volley of shots like whiz by poor Dougal's head as he's like standing in the water. This creature you see now, it's like it's got this like hideous sort of mouth-shapen humanoid shark hybrid face, and it's got like 2 sort of vestigial arms that have like webbed hands. It like leaps out of the water and it connects to your leg, Dougal. It's going to do you 6 points of damage. It like clamps on down, but the shot like rip into the side of it and lets out this like hideous noise and like lets go of your leg and just like vanishes into the waves.
Holding my leg. Still in the water. Still bleeding.
Fucking pull him out, man.
Aye, sir.
While they go to do that, I sort of like walk slightly closer where Temper is and like lean in and go, that wasn't any fucking shark. That had arms.
I noticed. Maybe we should just get out of this place.
I mean, it's what you suggested before, but obviously the greed is strong. There are some strange things going on here.
Well, I've still got my leg, so, you know, on the bright side.
Still useful to us yet, Quartermaster.
I'm not carrying you back to the ship. Don't give me that look.
I'll remember that.
Is this the only way through the temple, this sunken corridor?
Seems to be, yeah. There's no other like door or anything in this room.
Oh. Could I make some sort of architecture check to see if I could find some other passageway?
Certainly.
I have a very low chance of this working. It does not.
Yeah, it looks pretty solid all around. These huge stones kind of in the walls, but there's a section here where there's an archway that leads on through to the next bit, further into the cave where Dougal had gone before.
How deep is it, Dougal? Far beyond a man?
That'd be on probably what I can swim.
Right. The only safety we have here is shooting down on the thing, whatever that thing is. If we start throwing explosives around this place, it's going to collapse. Probably pretty damn quick. It's up to you, Tempe, but I don't think we've got a lot of choice.
Well, I don't imagine that thing is gonna come back after we put a few holes in it.
Optimistic as ever.
Well, I mean, it's not gonna come back and let us do it again. but we should go. This place gives me the creeps, and I don't think it's worth whatever gold the woman has. Gail can take it up with me later.
Like, he doesn't say anything, but Hugh is kind of like quietly nodding after seeing that thing.
Yeah, I'm also kind of quietly nodding.
All right. Let's move out. Get back to the beach.
Yeah, the men are so relieved, and they eagerly accept. They like pick up every scrap of gold or metal in the room, and carry whatever they can in sacks or whatever, begin moving their way out. And like Hugh kind of casts like one final look over his shoulder as he like leaves. But everyone kind of seems pleased to be leaving.
Do you want to see if we can figure... This place looks pretty dilapidated. There might be another way in past that sunken passageway. Another way to the treasure.
I mean, I'll have a walk around the building with you if that's what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, bring someone with an eye for it, maybe. Anyone we know? Good at finding their way into tight places?
Maybe Dougal? He's a specialist, right?
Yeah, he is indeed.
That was basically what I was suggesting.
Oh.
You got a sense for the place, Dougal? Maybe you got an idea of how it is. You take a walk with us around this place. Captain won't be too happy with, half the treasure. No, she likes all of it, as much as possible.
Sure, why not? I'll grab my backpack and mumble something about, yeah, sure, that's the guy that's limping to walk around the building.
We can get someone to help support you.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. I'd give him a shoulder.
Right. See to him. So I imagine they're like 10 feet ahead or more or something, paying attention while like me and Tempe are kind of just strolling behind them.
All right, give me that architecture roll.
Up to you, Lloyd, mate. Fucking sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. With people being kicked nonstop, it's making it very difficult to play the game, I think.
Yeah, I'm up to 7.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably just call it, and we'll try and do it again another time. Because I do want to like get in there and see all the nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it's the case where like people are out and then they're getting like a third of the game,
Right.
which is not good enough.
Corin's been messaging me, I think, on her phone. She's trying to get back in, but it's not happening very easily. So
Right.
perhaps
On top of like the Hangouts issues, Corinne's power is also gone, so it's like, oh god. All right, so if you watched, hopefully you enjoyed this introduction to this adventure, which we will hopefully pick up another time. Thanks. See you next time.